Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylee of Kaylee Plans, and today I am going to be doing a 2021 planner recap video. So as you can see, there are quite a few different planners here, so we're going to go into all the different planners that I planned on using for 2021 and actually ended up using. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you watched my 2021 planner lineup video, you would have seen that the first agenda that I kind of introduced was my B6 Print Pression Vertical Weeks planner. And this planner I use in 2020 for like deco planning and everything like that. But to be totally honest with you guys, I literally never ended up using this. Like, this was supposed to be where 2020, is it here? Yeah, this was supposed to be where 2021 was gonna start, and as you can see, I literally never ended up using it. So deco planning just takes so much time, and like, even though I think it's so cute and so beautiful and like really fun to look back on, like I end up laying down the stickers and having no energy or motivation to actually write any plans in. So as much as I love like deco planning and the way it looks, I think we've all figured out that it's really not for me. I'm much more of a minimal planner. So it just didn't work out for me. I never ended up reaching for this at all for the whole year. So, you know, obviously I still have it. I could go into it whenever I want to. I kind of like the option to, you know, pick up whenever I want to, and if I wanted to do a sticker spread, I could, but just realistically, it wasn't for me. So the next agenda that I planned on using for last year was this HP mini disc setup, and this literally hasn't changed from when I set it up. And as you can see, I once again never once ended up reaching for it. I don't know why. I mean, I really like the size. I ended up like loving this setup, but I just realistically never reached for it. My intentions for this planner were to use it as a home planner, but I ended up just adding a home section into my rings planner and really didn't need a second full agenda. The next agenda that I planned on using for 2021 was the half letter disc agenda, and this one was my work agenda. And obviously it was going fine, except for the fact that I quit my job. So once I quit my job, I really didn't end up using this anymore. I loved using this though at work. It was a perfect setup, a perfect size. I would use it literally every single day. But once I quit my job, like I said, I really didn't have the need for having multiple agendas. So I ended up not using it after I left my job in July. So the next two planners that were in my 2021 planner lineup video were my Asics TN and my standard size TN. And as I kind of went over with you guys before, I use these notebooks to do like deco planning, or not planning, but just like deco layouts. And you know, I have like just different notebooks for different like creative outlets and things like that. So I still use these agendas, and I actually ended up adding 3 more of these to the lineup. Now, again, these are just kind of for like different creative outlets, so I'm not actually planning in these. I just reach for them when I get like in the mood to be crafty and I want to do like a pretty spread. So the next planner that I ended up using for 2021 was my PM Louis Vuitton agenda that I switched out the standard rings that they come with to 16mm Krause rings, and I honestly was in love with this setup. I did use it for a little over half of the year. But the thing was, as you can kind of see, I was putting like a lot of wear and tear onto this because this was my everyday carry. I was taking it with me from home to work and everything like that. And I noticed that the corners started to, you know, get a little bent and things like that just from me literally using it for like 5 months consistently. So I ended up moving out of it just to kind of protect the agenda cover itself, but I really did love using this. I found myself reaching for it very consistently, but the thing was the rings were so tiny that that's why I like felt the need to have other planners. But what I ended up doing was, once this started to show signs of wear, I decided to move out of it just to keep it, you know, in nice condition and move into an agenda with bigger rings. So simultaneously, while I was in my PM agenda, I was using this GM agenda cover, and GM is A5 size. So since the PM was so small and the rings were so small, I didn't have like space for like home and things like that. So I was using this as my desk agenda for all of those things that I didn't necessarily need to take on the go with me. So once I moved into larger pocket size rings, I didn't need to have 2 agendas anymore. And like I said, it is kind of like hard for me to use multiple planners at one time unless there's a very specific reason. So when I moved out of my PM agenda, I moved into this Moterm, obviously still pocket agenda, but this is the Krakow in the beige. And I did not do any iodine treatment to this, so this should be pretty true to what the color will look like if you're interested in it. These rings are the 30 millimeter rings, so I went from 16 to 30 millimeter rings, literally almost a little bit over doubling what I was able to fit into my agenda, and I was obsessed with this layout this agenda. Like, I really loved the size. I loved that I was able to fit quite literally everything into one agenda and actually like utilize it, and it was very efficient for me. I really did enjoy being in this agenda, but obviously when I left my job back in July, I didn't need such a small planner anymore, and that's like the one thing, was like writing small in here was always kind of like tricky for me, just because I do tend to write a little bit bigger. And my latest planner setup has been in this agenda. If you guys haven't already seen the video, go check it out, but I am using A6 size inserts inside of a technically personal size agenda cover. So what I had to do was use A6 size paper that was not pre-punched and then punch it with personal size ring holes. So it would fit in the rings of this agenda, but it would be the size that I like, because I personally do not like personal size agendas. Like, I know that the paper is way too narrow. It's literally only like half an inch wider than pocket size, and if I was going to be moving out of pocket size, I did want bigger paper. Like, that was the whole reason. Like, I didn't just want longer paper, I wanted wider paper to like write. So I have been in this agenda since basically I left my job back in July, and it's been working really great for me. But I think that rings in general tend to kind of overwhelm me. There's just obviously so much you can do with it that sometimes I forget to actually plan in it. So for next year, if you haven't seen, the video is already up, I am going to be using a book-bound agenda, at least for the first like quarter of the year. Now, I did end up ordering a true A6 size VDS agenda cover from Petra, but as you know, it's about a 16-week wait period, so I won't be receiving that cover until about April of next year. So for now, I'm going to be in my book bound and keep it very, very simple, as you'll see in that video if you haven't seen it already. And just kind of see how book bound works out for me, and if I don't end up loving it, I have an A6 coming. And then the nice thing about changing to true A6 is that I can actually order dashboards and things like that from shops that punch them, because obviously true A6 does not fit in this agenda cover, so I was having to print everything myself and then hole punch everything myself, which was fine, but like I was missing out on like cloth and paper and things like that because I just couldn't use Asics in this unless they offered like an unpunched Asics, which they don't. I've tried to see if they did. So that's why that's like literally the only reason I'm moving out of this cover, is just literally I don't have an Asics cover right now that I want to move into. I do have like my VDS Poussier cover and like a clear Asics cover, but I just don't like feel like being in them right now, and I do kind of want to simplify my planning. So I am really excited to use the Wonderland 222 at least until I receive my true Asics cover. So hopefully that kind of helps you figure out maybe like what size or style planner you're looking for. But if you have any specific questions or anything like that, drop a comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram. Instagram is probably like the best way to get like a quick response from me. I'm always on Instagram, and I get those notifications on my phone. For like YouTube comments, I do have to go on my computer to see them. So that's why sometimes I take a little longer to respond to those. But if you have like any questions about any planners that I talked about at all in this video, do not feel shy. Like, go ahead and ask, because I probably have an answer for you. So that's everything for this video, guys. I hope that offered you a little insight into like how I plan and the different planners I use and everything like that. And thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Stay safe. Bye.